That today, when I observe the emergencies of my life and strive for these urgencies, I am putting soul in my body. Ah, priest. This separatist view does not match Christian theology. I know, this is just didactic. This separation is just didactic. It works all together. Body and soul are, although they are distinct realities, work together. It is unit. We proclaim the unity of all this. Now when I identify that I am not doing, that I am not striving to live well, I am, yes, weakening the resources of my soul, which are precisely to help me live the body's own life well. They work together, my people, and we often neglect the observance of time, as in the scripture that says, the sacred writer speaks precisely that. Crying time and laugh time. There are times when life itself shows you the need to cry, to throw their excesses, not being afraid of sadness, to allow this sadness to fall within us, its riches, and to help us find the precious stone that only suffering could lead us to know. Then comes the laughter. Laughter is not born by chance. We already sang that song too, right? I walk slowly because I've been in a hurry and bring that smile because I already cried too much. The smile is the result of the tear well cried. The smile is the end result of a struggle process that we established. To observe day by day it is the commitment that day asks me. What today do I need to do to have the right of smile tomorrow? And it's good, you know why? Because as we are spending the parade knowing that it will be constructive, little smiles are born throughout this process. When we talk about a final smile, it's just the metaphor of a well-done, well-lived process. Time to hug. Time to move away. How much suffering, right? In realizing the distancing as necessary to the growth of the other, it is that child who leaves to study. The time has arrived. It is necessary to study. It is necessary to seek a future out of here. My people, when we observe the movement of time and its emergencies, we enter the context of an unnatural wisdom to our human achievement, tearing time. If we do not have the courage many times to tear some realities, then we will never be able to live her liberation. Today I even wrote about it. Many times we regret losing. And when in fact we will observe what we lost, it was not a loss. It was liberation. How many relationships need to be torn so that they are later sewn the right way? To defalling all the illusions we have from the other, or all the pretensions we judge on the other? No. The other does not have to meet my expectations. The other has to be him. If there was empathy with me, we built a friendship relationship there. If not, a relationship of respect. But it is necessary to tear. We need to live the confrontation that will then provoke a release in US. Anyway, life will always ask us for an observation. Life will always ask of us calm, patience. Because in a hurry, we go over all these needs, and we are not able to recognize them. Did you stop to think about it? That sometimes life is not working. It is because you don't even know exactly what you need. Sometimes we get so distressed, and we don't know why. It was missing to reach the key point. It was missing to discover the neural dull point there, where the conflict is actually starting. Patience, right? We have no patience even to find out what is distressing us. It is our hurry. It is the strange life that we will live. How to manage jealousy. I have become increasingly possessive with my husband, and especially with my children. I face this difficulty in my daily life, and I don't know if it is the age that is weighing about me. I am very afraid of being alone, and with that, I have excessively attached to my children. They are already at the age of leaving home, but often do not leave because I keep preventing this match, which will be inevitable. Because the two are already, one with the project to go to Sao Paulo, and the other to go to Florianopolis. Help me. Jealousy is natural in human life. First, because I think jealousy is part of love. It is impossible that there is love without jealousy. It is no problem to recognize that you feel jealous. Jealousy is an imbalance that is born naturally. What is love? Love is that feeling we have to warm from a place, isn't it? The love we feel gives us this comfort. Jealousy is every time it goes through our head the possibility of losing that comfort. So, it is natural that insecurities are born every time we love. Now, first thing, we need to be aware that jealousy exists. We cannot deny it. So, Rosanna, the first step is this, is that you recognize. Because the big problem is when we deal with the jealousness that is not assumed, which does not recognize. And it's a great difficulty for us to recognize this. I'm jealous of you. I'm afraid of losing you. So identifying that jealousy often has no causes, has no reason. It is the result of nonsense. Because if there is a true love, if there is an established bond, you need to rely on the security of this bond. It's my friend, it's my brother, it's her boyfriend, it's the girlfriend, it's the husband, it's the wife. All bonds, they risk going through the process of insecurity. Now we need to manage well. And jealousy of father and mother counsels. When we say we love, we need, within the revelation, to guarantee the other freedom. We can't believe in a love that does not give freedom, that does not allow, isn't it? So the mother who knows that he needs to study, that he needs to go get a future. And in the name of this love, she wants to protect too much. And prevent the other will conquer his space. So we are facing a harmful love. Because we also need to desecrate this, that sometimes we think that mother's love is perfect. No, and no. Father's love is not perfect. By the way, I think the only perfect love that exists is in the garden. The only one we know has is that little planton. All other loves will need to be purified over time. And it already said with great wisdom and mastery, our dear poet Drummond d'Andrade. He said, learns loving, and the balance between love and jealousy, which will not be able to love without jealousy. Jealousy as. Translating here as insecurity and fear of losing. This balance that will happen as we are willing to love. So, okay, I love you. I'm jealous. But I will adapt a balance so that my jealousy does not even harm our ability to love and have a bond. Because it is so bad for us to live with jealousy. It is very bad for you to be a victim and you victim someone with your feeling of possession. The mother, for example, she needs to look at her child like someone else. The big problem is that we interpret the other as our extension, as our continuity. It is not. This is not a truth. The other is a human being who has a life of his own. And love is the relationship of these lives. What is the relationship? The date. What we spoke at the beginning of the program. It is the bond that is being grown, established, and that is giving this natural security. You need to love and be loved. Because this is what gives you the existential comfort of you feeling good, who you are. It's no use having a lot of money. You have a good job. You succeed if you don't have people to love you when you come home. This is very serious. Remember a phrase that I think I already shared with you here. When I did a show there at Palacio das Artes, a very beautiful show I had there last year, I was very thrilled. And when the show ended, when I was returning to the hotel, I read, Paulino Pedraza, one of the greatest poets of Minas Gerais, singer, composer, who packed my life with his songs, is a great friend of mine today. He sent it to my cell phone like this. That much more than having 2,000 people applauding you. You have a few friends who can receive you after the applause. This is very true, my people. Nothing is worth conquering, reaching, coming far if you don't have someone who looks at you up close. Everything you have achieved far away, that you were distant, that you have surpassed barriers, borders. It only makes sense if there is someone who looks at you up close. And this proximity, the intimacy of our house, right? This is too important. Or that will not plot against you. They will defend from wedges and teeth, right? The good friends are like this, right? I can even tell them badly to them, but I don't let the other talk. It's not like this. It's love. It is the established balance. And jealousy is manasama times the attempt, the human temptation to collapse it all because of an imbalance. No. Love he does too good to human life because he puts us in this security. But every time you feel this temptation to think that the other is the total point of your balance, no, unlock this understanding. It doesn't have to be so. Jealousy is often born of the wrong interpretation we make of the other. The other is not you. The other is not its continuity. And loving consists of looking at each other, even distant, knowing that you have the proximity to him too. That's why we always come back to be with the people who make us free. If you insist too much to be your friend, it's natural that you don't want to. Because love, friendship, only are born of natural processes, affinities that are happening. If there is too much insistence, there is no charm. And friendship is not so. I want to be your friend. I want to be your brother. Not so. Life, from time to time, gives that opportunity for the meeting. They really found it not wait for each other. And then things are born naturally. Jealousy is that attempt to chain the other. It is the attempt to make the other being its extension, to be its continuity, to prevent it from being who he is. My people, sometimes we have the sweet illusion that we want to be friends with the other. But in fact, we want to use it as our trophy. It's horrible that, but many people will get closer to you. It's not because they want to be your friend. No. It's because they want to have you in hand like you were a trophy. You're a friend of so and so. Silly that. The oldest bonds? So yesterday I argued this. I, for example, have many new bonds. Many people who entered my life. But even in these news, I find out something old. It is as if it had years and years. Now look at your older bonds. How many prevailed? Then you will understand. You've been jealous. You've had the temptation to possess them. Understood that you didn't have to have it. And that love is born of this gratuity. Look at your children. In an attempt to imprison them, you have caused a terrible impasse of living with them. The father does not have to imprison the children. You need to guide. It needs to be in the presence just right. But it does not have to imprison. You need to give him the freedom to be who he is. I wanted to be a pianist. It was not. You will have to learn this piano. No one has to learn piano because you have not learned. This is boring. This happened 10, 20 years ago. 30, 40 years ago. No one has the patience to do one thing in the name of the other. This is silly. Your child has different skills. Your child has a different world, a different head. What you are with what the breed of your meat is. This is love. It is the willingness to establish the bond for a lifetime, even if we are different from each other. Jealousy is the attempt to hold the other in us, and often prevent the other from being himself. Many times we kill our lives, or kill the opportunity to live well, because we are not able to read the right reading of what time is asking us. Because it's anyway. Each day the time will ask us something. And it is this attentive look that is giving us this condition, this clarity of realizing what really screams by my name today. What really calls me today? What is the reality today that is unavoidable? My people, sometimes we are so negligent in the perception of this that sometimes we waste a month, a year, 10, 20, putting our commitment in a reality that was not even for that moment. And that's why it's so interesting to develop the ability to say no and to say yes. Because this is a skill that only maturity brings us. Because sometimes, because we are immature, we don't even know how to say no. We don't know how to look at the urgencies of time. So we live to please the other. No. Before you please the other, you need to realize what life is asking for you. Because not always what you can do to please the other, is in line with what life is asking for you. Even if we grow up, we have to have the courage to cut many things. Sacred scripture says, time to kill. It all depends on the keen perception we need to have to look at the present moment and find out what really deserves our commitment. How many times have I worked in my life in the wrong place, in the wrong question, and then there is no way to be happy? There is no way I can find a contentment knowing that my commitment was not where I should have committed myself. There is no possibility that I feel fulfilled, to feel good about my choices. Because what will make me feel good is to look at the context of my choices and be comfortable with what was chosen. It is interesting because sometimes our way of living deprives us even of this perception. We are very strange to us. It's not strange to the other. No, it's strange to ourselves. Strange to ourselves. The body needs soul. Yes, I need to support my life. I need to mean my subject. I need to put soul in all that I am, even in the house where I live. And life has taught me that the house is not a cluster of walls. The house is a feeling that occurs to me. It's not just a material construction, no. When I enter those walls that I built with my work, there I identify the soul that supports me. It is a feeling that occurs to me. I'm sure we all experience this. When people open the door of the house when we come in, it is a good feeling that occurs to us. This is soul. This is when matter is full of meanings. This is when we start to assign a meaning that goes beyond the walls, furniture, the roof, the league, the garden, the entrance gate. It is a feeling that wakes us up. And it is interesting that the quality of our life depends. It is closely linked to our ability to deposit soul in things. I am not talking about this soul, the deepest meaning of our lives, the spiritual dimension that connects me with eternity. No, I'm talking about everything that lives and makes sense to matter, brings meaning to what is material. So we inadequately use the term soul. Realize that my objects are permeated by a meaning that goes beyond matter. As Rubem Alf said, there are things that are more than things. They are things that remind us. That is to become a sacramental. Just as I bring a souvenir of the trip, that is for me only a sacramental of something that was good, which was lived, that was experienced, that did me good. But now, in my opportunity to put soul in this body, in this unique opportunity that I have to live daily my life, and thus inflate air in all this, just as I perceive this other soul of things, my home when I arrive off, living well, bringing me the awareness of
Thank you for joining us today at Path of Faith. Your engagement means the world to us. So please take a moment to leave your comments, like this video, share it with friends and family, and subscribe for more enriching content.